welcome to a coding Wednesday tutorial. In this video, we will be going on Gdevelop and creating the first part of our game, of a small game we're going to make with Gdevelop. Now, I recommend you have seen my last video, and so you know how to use Gdevelop, and you know how to get assets of Kenny. And with that being said, let's get into it. So now we're going to create a new project, and we are going to create an empty game. And if we add first we need to add a scene. Should we call this what should we call this? We won't bother with calling it now, but first what we need to do, let's create, say, if you were making a small game, what would you do? Well, you would have a logo which would flash up and appear on it first. So now what we're going to make, we're going to make this a sprite. I say logo, and click to add an animation, and edit view pixel, or which what we can do if we do this and just drag it across like that, and then we fill this, and then I don't know, do a let's do something of like this, and when you change palettes, you can do new palettes, create a new palette, or edit my palette, which is create new colours. So you have palettes you can use, like for colour palettes, and you do kind of do a smiley face, a very horrible smiley face. Oh, and save and apply, and if you just drag and drop it, and do scene events. What about if you do, so now let's add an event, standard event, add condition. So at this time will be scene, at the beginning of scene, change background, video scene, change background colour to maybe double colour. So when we just use black, and we select black, we've done that, and then you go OK, and we've done that. And also what we also want to do is we want to send, if you go on camera, camera should be somewhere, some actions somewhere, camera, lasers and cameras, center the camera on an object, and that be logo, and yes, and OK. And we also want to do a scene. We also want to start a timer, and you'll see why we're doing this as well. So if you start a timer, logo fade, I guess, because that's what's going to happen. And then now if you run this, what should happen is I see him in my sleep button, and if we do X on this, exit simulator window, and we now what happens, you also need to add by right clicking on the blue bar, or we can just add a new standard event. We can add times and time. Value your team's scene timer, so 5 seconds. Oh, so you normally have to do quote marks. And if you go with timer's name, logo, fade, and okay, add action. Well, just see what you have to do. So now if you do add a new scene 2, so that's now added. So what now we can do, if we go on events in here, add action, scene, change scene, and we go yes, and do this. Change scene to well, what should happen? New scene. Oh, sorry. Excuse my spelling. Scene 2. Okay, and that what should happen, because it's new scene 2. Yeah. What should happen if you run it, and it's loading. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it changes new scene. I must tell you that new scene is blank. So now what we need to do, we can create something called UI. And what we can do, so first we do this, and we do title, and we add an animation. Actually no, and we delete that. So we just, if we delete this by right clicking it and then pressing delete and OK, and we go, and if you go in text and play game, and colour will have to be black, wouldn't it? Bold as well. Why? I don't know. So if, and text is game. And now we can resize that at any time, I think. So if we do that, no, normally you would add the object, and we change this to 150, and drag it and drop it into our game. We do it here, and now that's our title done. So now we need to make a new object. What do that? And we do sprite, or you could just you could do sprite. We'll do a more advanced, good-looking UI later. You go on here, go on sprite. No text. Play. And then we play, and then the text is also play, bold, and colour black, and size 150, which would be 75. So 75. And if you apply, now we've done this because it's half the size. Now we can always fix the look of the UI up later. And now we've done this, if we create a new scene called, and then we have a new scene. Now this is going to be our game scene, and we're not going to do this today. All we're doing is how to change new scenes, change backgrounds, cover, do UI, etc. So now if you go on new scenes to events, if we add new event and standard event as condition, if scene or mouse and touch, if a character or touch is on an object, and what object we play, because that's a button, and if you click yes because it's what's by default, and add action, change the scene to actually no, change new scene 3, and now what should happen, as long as there's no bugs, because when you run it you can do this, and if you wait and you wait for this a scene in my sleep screen to disappear, we have this. And so if you see now, because this is when you build games you export them to mobile, there's also system information you do, and you so because it be mobile you just have to touch it, so but also when you're running this on a computer, as soon as you go on it but it has a bug. I wonder what happened there. So now let's check our code. New scene 2 events. Oh look, there is a bug. And in my video there's always going to be a bug. Debugging is an important skill in coding. So now if you run it will work. I see him in my sleep. Creepy, cute or creepy. And as you can see, if you may not have seen that, if you paused it, you might have seen that. If you run it again, my mouse is actually on my play. As I said, because it's touch screen, this is when you're going to be on touch screen. This is best to says touch, and normally you just touch it and it'll instantly happen. So as soon as my mouse goes on to play, it switches to a new scene. Well, I hope so. Those are fundamentals of UI changing scenes, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Well, please leave any suggestions or things to improve on, or things you missed out in the comments below.